Oh, it's going to be a good one today.
Is it though?
Yeah, it is. I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair. See that name like it's framed with lights. Allison Sinclair. And JP, who is a whiz. And we're Rightside Radio.
Basically a genius. That's why he's in my phone as JP Savant.
Because he is.
That's such a cool last name.
Is that, I literally sent his contact to someone and they were like, that's a really cool last name. And I was like, oh, please let me explain.
Do tell. So, friends, we got a lot of news. We have Catherine Robertson on in a little while. We're very excited about that. It's kind of that rainy day outside, so you kind of want to, tuck in your car, run your errands, or you're working around the house, whatever it is you're doing. You're sitting at your desk. You've tuned into a banger because we're already fired up, and the show is like 2 minutes old. Okay, it's like a football game where they score a touchdown on the first drive. It's that kind of day.
Oh.
So we have talk in our montage later about Minnesota. We're going to talk about Greenland. We have a new segment that I think we've decided we're going to do it regularly, an education update, because there is a lot to discuss. And then a couple of other things going on in Alabama. Oh, Trump has done he did something incredible today.
You're making it sideways. Sorry if you're watching online.
Sorry, I'm trying to get
head.
it. Sorry, I'm OCD. It's got to be perfect.
Okay,
it's fine.
Are we perfect?
Yeah, okay, perfect.
Thank you. We're perfect.
But before we get to any of that, we have to have a discussion. Okay. Just right off the bat. And the discussion is, listen, without attempting to bond what you heard to what you want to hear, so you can say what you want to say. Listen and make sure that when you do, perhaps listen accurately. Take notes if you have to. But when you quote people or you think you heard what they said, go back. Hit rewind. Hit the 15-second button back and back. Slow it down or speed it up. But when it comes to campaign season, friends and neighbors, and we're all friends here, we're just having a little discussion.
Just the circle of trust.
This is the circle of trust.
Questions.
This is Meet the Parents Circle of Trust.
I'm watching you. I can't say the last name because somebody might mishear me.
Oh, huh. But I work with two really good listeners who don't adjust they don't adjust the facts to fit the framework they'd already imagined. They just listen and they're able to skew it out really well. Like diagramming a sentence. There's no emotion to it. It just is. And so we would like to just ask that we listen carefully when we go to forums or when we listen to radio shows or when we typing cat things on Insta or Facebooks or X or Truth or Rumble. Listen, that's from my heart to yours. Allison?
Well, I was just,
JP?
you know what my friend's dad used to say to us growing up? He'd be like, God gave y'all 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason.
That's good.
It's true.
That's good.
I just, speaking of campaigns and in terms of listening, I think it's important. You are going to start seeing now, May 19th is the primary. Between now and then, things are going to get very heated. You will start seeing a lot more on social media. You will start hearing a lot more from candidates. If you are a supporter of that candidate, and if you are the candidate, remind yourself that your supporters represent you. Now, you can't control everyone. We know that. I mean, it's like you're not responsible for other people's actions. But at some point, when the things are repetitive, when people continue to behave or talk or treat people in a certain way, it starts to reflect on you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what the answer is, but just know people get a sense for who you are as a candidate based on who you surround yourself with, based on who supports you, based on who runs your campaign. And it matters. It matters a lot. So just note to self, keyboard warriors, everybody's watching and they are forming their opinions about the people that you are passionate about. I love the passion. I think that's great. People are very loyal to their candidates, as you should be. But cheer on your candidate tell us all the great things about the candidate that you're supporting, not all the terrible things about the people that don't agree with everything you believe. When you start putting down others, that's when it's not really nice.
It's called an ad hominem attack, and you've lost the argument when you have to do that.
It makes you look very insecure. And yeah, you just lose. And then in turn, your candidate loses. It's not, look, we all have bad days. Sometimes we spout off, we do things. But as it becomes a repeated thing, you start to go, I don't really think I like that whole crowd. Just my 2 cents.
Well, it's just like life. You kind of value other people based off of, well, at least I do, value others based off of who their friends are. Because if they surround themselves with a certain group of people, then that tells you a lot about the person itself. So it's kind of the same with like politics. Like you said, you can't control everybody. However, if there's a theme amongst your supporters, I think it does reflect on you, whether you like it or not. So
it does. And the real litmus test is, would you say what you're saying to someone's face? And if you wouldn't say what you're going to say to someone's face, perhaps it ought not to be said. Now, if you're a writer, if your job is reporting, if your job is a radio show, our job is to comment on the comments we see, the forums we get to host, the people we interview. This is our job. We wouldn't want any other job. But as a part of the job, we've had to learn to listen. And so make sure, please, before you go after people, that you are actually correct. That's all. It's really, really simple.
Low bar.
Very low
but some
bar.
people can't jump it.
To some of these people's credit, I will say, I think they would say it to your face.
Which is awesome.
And I
Cheers.
actually can respect that. But it still doesn't make it right or advantageous for you or your candidate. But I do think some would say it to your face. The funny part about this whole thing, especially as we were commentating yesterday and just our thoughts, is that the people online that are commenting are they're coming at us for voicing our opinion that's different than theirs. Wait, I thought conservatives, you were big First Amendment people and your candidate all about freedom of speech and freedom of religion. Oh, except if you have a different viewpoint, if you had different thoughts from an event than us, we're going to attack you. That's just childish. Be secure enough to be able to let everybody have a different opinion. Share yours. That's great.
Also, this is said with love from my heart to yours. Let's stop out Bibling each other. Okay? That's all. Stop it. It's silly.
Cat's out of the bag.
You know what's so tough is that, like, I look back to where I was spiritually years ago, and I would judge me. Like, this me would judge me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we're all on a spiritual journey. I hate that word, but we are. We're all growing in the faith. We're all learning new things. So to come at people that maybe don't have your belief today, I guarantee you probably didn't have that belief when you first became a Christian 40 years ago. So why do we not all get the same grace? It's just, this is the side of the right that we have to stop. Say what you believe. Stand by it. Stand behind it. Stand on top of it. Shout it from the rooftops. I'm all for that. But give people grace. Now, there are some things that are non-negotiables.
That's right.
Like, if you're for transing kids, you're probably not one of us. But if you have a different view of the Bible, as long as your orthodoxy is in the box of some really important tier 1 things, we can disagree on some of the other things. And I thought we could still be friends, but apparently we're lesser Christians.
We're not as good.
And unworthy.
Yeah. So.
Well, I'll say one last part. There's a few things that drive me nuts more than perpetual victims.
Oh, they're my favorite.
And even though you sing somebody's praises about, their character, and even if you don't agree with their beliefs, that they're sincere and that they unabashedly proclaim them, but then they pick the part that they don't like, which the thing that they don't like is a fact of something that actually happened. Then they use it to play the victim card. That's where it drives me nuts. Of like, if somebody walks up to you and goes out of the way to say something about you, and hey, I take offense to that. That's one thing. But if I say blah 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 blah, all this stuff, good stuff. Oh, they also did this. That was weird. Oh, and they sing one on that, and that they got their victims up. It drives me nuts. And you're not doing anything to sell yourself as a candidate if you're doing that, because all you're doing is showing yourself as a victim, and that is one of the biggest turnoffs ever. So,
and who are the victims in the U.S. right now? The left.
Mm-hmm.
Always playing the victim. This is a tactic of the left. It's very unbecoming on the right.
And if you think people can't see that, you're wrong. And isn't it tragic if we become the thing we say we hate?
That's like when Massey and AOC vote for the same thing. I'm like, whoa, where did we go?
Yeah.
All the way around the world.
So, from our hearts to yours, from people who communicate, sometimes great, sometimes terribly.
The people in your family that are never happy, like no matter how far you or a friend or whatever it is, you go out of your way to accommodate them, to make them feel comfortable, to make them feel welcome in your home. You still stand what you believe on, but you're very accommodating and you can never do it right. Ugh, those are the worst people. Worst people.
Yeah, they are.
Anywho, I feel better now.
Good.
Ish.
Well,
do we have a montage for?
We do have a montage.
Do we have any texts?
We actually just got one text from Brad from Crimestone, who says, I've never understood the popularity of ad hominem attacks. I mean, honestly, how can anybody have anything bad to say about hominy?
Hominy.
That was good. That was good.
It's a hard word to say fast, too. Ad hominy.
Ad hominy. Hominy.
Is that
ad hominy.
A legal term? Like writ of censure?
That's a very fancy
I don't even
term.
know if that's it.
Okay, it's actually an ad hominem, which, we're saying in a way that is directed against a person rather than the position they are maintaining. So,
I like that. I'm going to use that in a sentence when I grow up.
You know what? That actually encapsulates what we were talking about perfectly.
Yep.
That was good.
Let's just stick to the issue.
It's coffee. It helps
so
me think of
smart.
that.
It really is.
See, I told you it's going to be off to a banger start. Just wait. But wait, there's more.
Can you spell it for me real quickly before we go to break?
A-D.
Hominem.
AD space.
HOMENIN.
EN.
No. HOMINEN.
INEN. See?
Hominin.
Learn something new every day.
Hominin. We'll be back with the montage and some news.
Welcome back to Rightside Radio. I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. Now that we have the campaign discussion out of the way, JP, I understand you have quite the montage for us today.
I do. Do we want to go ahead and play this segment?
Well, you want to wait?
Well, it's a bit of a short segment. I say we wait.
Okay.
We got a couple of texts. So
well, let's read the text by all means.
Poor listener that needs some help, y'all.
Okay. All right. Well, we just got another text. That's funny. 833-687-4448
That's
is
really
the text
good
line
drama.
number. Or 833-68 right. RIGHT.
Makes me laugh every time.
Allie from Athens, she says, okay, kids, this is Allie from Athens playing the old lady card. The people that cannot be pleased no matter what you do, first and foremost, are highly displeased with themselves.
That's what it comes across as. Yeah. I mean, like, you're insecure and you're unconfident in your position. So you have to resort to name calling and attacks.
It's what we did in 7th grade. So
It's true.
It's right. She's right. That's wise.
In 7th grade, what would we say to those people? We'd say, I'm rubber and you're glue, and everything you say bounces off of me and sticks to you.
You know what I would have
we
said?
said.
Well, you would have probably punched him.
No, what I would have said actually in the exact 7th grade was Illuminati confirmed.
That's good.
Okay. Well, first of all, we're going to read.
We're going to make a t-shirt with that.
Just my face.
Probably
Just like that.
Jenkins from Sneed. So we're actually going to be talking about this later on the show, but he just said that he heard a bit of JD Vance in Minnesota today and said he sounds like a dad disciplining his kids and telling them why and how they have messed up. Have y'all seen JD Vance's speech in Minnesota?
I just saw the beginning of the clip.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later in the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
writing it down.
It's insane. Yes.
This is what I knew. This is what I said off air. We were playing the vague game last segment about some stuff, and Michael from Moulton says, I'm not the smartest guy, but I was a little lost on all that without the details of what brought the situational feelings on. Can not go into on air or question mark?
What's his first name?
Michael.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Michael. We were giving campaign advice out for free.
Yeah.
To some campaigns who needed campaign advice, and we apologize for not framing that better. But we just thought, while we were at the top of the show and while it was top of mind, we would just want to remind everybody that, you know, when you're campaigning and when you have people who are for your campaign, keep it together. That's all. Is that fair?
Yeah, it's fair. I mean, and I think the moral of the story for the listeners is do your homework, really pay attention. And also know, as shocking as it is, because we say some things on here that are insane and that y'all are probably like, what the heck? Especially the listener that texted in and said, I've been out of the country for a month.
We're going to get to that.
Like, we don't say a lot of what we're thinking. Maybe someday we will. We might not have a show, but yeah, we really keep a lot in. So if you think this is bad, I don't know, stick around. We'll see what happens. Maybe we will start naming names. I don't know. We're not at that point yet, though, Michael.
Well, so I'm not going to say who this listener is because he said he didn't need this to be read on the radio, but we're going to read it on the radio. He says, I work international and I've been gone for a couple of months and I come back and Phil is no longer on the show. Can you tell me what's happening? Is he okay? Yes.
He's more than okay.
Who wants to tell him?
Jeff, Phil is perfectly fine. Phil was nominated by President Trump to be the U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Alabama. This happened in October. So this is currently month 3. Of the rate of this the new improved right side. So we hope you stick around, and you know, so this is going to be this listener's first time listening to us today, post Phil.
Good thing you got such a great montage, dude.
Good feedback from International Man of Mystery.
That is kind of funny though. Like, imagine you're a show you listen to, and then you go away and you come back, and it's just like,
and of course it had to be vague campaign segment. All right, we're gonna take a break. We'll get to the montage and some news on the other side.
Welcome back to Rightside Radio. I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. And finally, we get to hear JP's montage.
Black for you.
Yes! Open the door!
Oh my God.
Try!
Oh my God.
Just try! Stop! Wait, let them go! Let them go! Hey, pull over!
At the end of
Here's some bullets!
So you hate to go right to the obvious and say storming of the Bastille, but whenever you've got a crowd of violence-bent extremists stealing government weapons and running off into the night without being arrested, you have the potential for revolution and then great bloodshed in the aftermath of that. You have to stop this now, or else things will fall apart.
Hey, we're talking about ICE. What does ICE stand for?
Immigration, control.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement, okay? Guys who kind of look like cops. Is ICE above the law? No one is above the law, and if they break it, they should be held accountable, just like any of y'all. The best thing you can do is probably just stay away from ICE. Can I hear y'all say, I want my lawyer?
I want my lawyer!
So part of what we're trying to do here is say, how do we create this partnership between education, labor, government, and industry with the goal of creating these pathways? How do we use the WEF to create this kind of integrated network so that we're all working together?
That was a bunch of gobbledygook.
Okay. All right. So, Minnesota, which, by the way, J.D. Vance, when speaking in Minnesota, used the actual Minnesotan flag, or the flag of Minnesota, depends on how you'd like to say it, when he spoke. So, thank goodness. But the second car that was bombed out, was that a police car and they were removing weapons? Or was that the car that they were trying to attack just in the middle of the street, that red car?
No,
two separate cars?
They were two separate clips. So
Okay.
the second car was actually an FBI car.
And that was smashed?
They were smashing the window and stealing guns from the FBI.
If you watch the whole clip of the first car, which was red as well, so that kind of threw me off. Apparently, if you start from the beginning, the crowd who is gathering and protesting starts yelling, "That's him, that's him." They see the guy in the back of the car and they start rushing the car, banging on the window, reaching in to grab him. They open the door. The guy gets the door closed. People are telling him to drive off, but it was really a Renee Good. Like somebody could have gotten run over, but apparently reading the comments, they went after him because he, quote, looked like a conservative. They had seen him walking out. Something about a flag. I don't know what it was, but he was targeted because he, quote, looked like a conservative, and they tried to rip him out of the car.
Tell me you've lost your mind without words. That made me want to ask y'all this. Besides ICE, what are real solutions if both of you were either mayor or governor of Minnesota? What would you do?
Well, I think you have to put in a curfew.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have to put in like a no gathering clause. Like you can't gather, which stinks. It doesn't stink right now. You wouldn't have it forever, but you couldn't gather public places, sidewalks. You'd have to bring out like the Bogota, Colombia, what we saw, like put some snipers on top of some buildings and some, we're at that point. We are at that point in Minnesota. It is devolving into absolute chaos and destruction. And it seems like I hear all this rhetoric from the Trump administration and JD Vance is up there, but what are they doing? Like, why is this not handled by now? What would you do?
Well, I would go, and this is just the first word that popped in my mind, but I have to frame it. I would go scorched earth. I wouldn't even have JD Vance having a conversation with the people, trying to tell them what to do. I would arrest anybody who impeded my progress while I was arresting people. If you touched me as an ICE agent, I would throw you in the back of the car, take you to the jail, and figure out when I was going to let you out, regardless of due process. I don't care. Like, these animals, and they need to be off the streets. I agree with the curfew. But this is crazy. I saw that Trump was putting people's faces online of the people that they're arresting or they're looking to arrest. I love that. But the people of Minnesota also are going to need to do some kind of getting down there and running them out of town like they would have done in the old days. I don't know how you do that because these people are so dangerous. I guess they could march on Minneapolis if they had snipers, if they had the, guard out, if the cops were completely on board, and we don't know that everybody is.
That's a good
But
point.
I would show full force and not back down. That is the one thing James Lindsay talked about last week. There's no backing down.
Yeah.
There's no backing away. They have to be rounded up and sent packing. What do you think?
You know what I would do?
What would you do?
He's so excited.
Here's the irony in this. It's the same state, Tim Walz. I would just do exactly what Tim Walz did to enforce COVID lockdowns.
Oh, that's good.
Do you remember when they had the National Guard patrolling the streets, forcing people at gunpoint to go back into their homes?
Weren't they like shooting people with rubber bullets?
Yes, like that one video in particular where the National Guard was coming down the street and there was somebody, just out filming it, and they were like, "Get back inside!" Like it was like a war zone just to keep people in their homes. So Tim Walz can do it. He knows how to do it. It's just with taking away your freedoms, attacking federal agents and causing chaos in my state. Have at it. You know what? I'm actually going to call for people in other states to do the same thing against the government and enforce or incite an insurrection. But I knew it would get a lot worse. But Allison, your question of what's the Trump administration doing right now? A whole lot of nothing. And this is what I was afraid of.
So it's not just me.
No. And actually, there was a report, can't remember who it was from, that apparently Trump is not liking the optics of the mass deportations and is opting to, let's just, cool it.
Say it ain't so.
I'll go up and look the report again of who reported that, but and you can see it, because if they were serious about it, they would send in full force, salt the earth, and these protests would have been stopped. But now what they're trying to do is it's like trying to step out of the, like if somebody's got like trying to attack you and you're like trying not to attack them and you're like trying to get out of the way and move around them to do whatever you got to do, they're letting them impede instead of forcefully removing them from impeding on deportations. So right now it looks like the protesters are winning, and that's exactly what I was afraid of.
Yes.
And what you're telling, what that message sends is, hey, if you don't like what the federal government is doing, just attack them and then they'll go away. So, yeah, it's not a good sign.
I think Glenn Beck yesterday had his 1-year anniversary on Pam Bondi, and he was giving a review of her because she does a lot of flapping her gums and very little follow through. I know that there were a whopping two people arrested from Minneapolis. I also read that a judge refused to bring charges against Don Lemon. Is that true?
I didn't see that. I have noticed that no charges have been filed yet. Just a whole lot of we're gonna.
I saw that just as we were coming on air, and I'll go back and check it. But we are asking you to handle this. But if the federal government doesn't, it's really we cry states' rights all the time. We really do in home rule. We say that. It's about to be time. It's time for marches. Y'all have got to go take your city back. You really do.
Trump doesn't like to lose or look like a loser. So why is he doing this? Why is he allowing them to win? to make him look weak?
I think it's optics. For whatever reason, I think he's listening to other people tell him that mass deportations or going at it with these protesters is not a good look for the midterms. And I think he is. I mean, he knows, and he's right. If we lose the midterms, we're going to be doing nothing but impeachment votes every week. So
I keep going.
Well, he wants. I mean, I think he's afraid of the midterms right now, which, like I said, is fair. But I think mass deportations and doing whatever needs to get done to squash an insurrection takes priority over that. So
he should be afraid of the midterms because he's losing all of us.
Right.
I mean, so far, there's so many great things he does. And he's like being in an abusive relationship where you're like, I love you. I hate you. Punch me in the face one more time. Oh, no. Okay. And it's like you just, you're on a roller coaster. But these are basic things that he campaigned on. These are basic things that you need to do to keep America safe, to keep America functioning. And I don't understand why in the world he wouldn't just quickly take care of this, because you are going to lose the midterms. And it's because your base sees through the crap and you're not following it through on what you told us you would do. What?
So this is the report I was talking about. It's actually from Axios. The title is Trump's Immigration Erosion Worries His Own Team. It says that the President Trump's team recently reviewed private GOP polling that showed support for his immigration policies falling. So they're claiming that, I guess, internal polling shows that Republicans don't like the mass deportations. It says the results reflected in public surveys bolstered internal concern about the administration's confrontational enforcement tactics.
Now, here's what's odd. Y'all saw the comparison between Obama deportations and Trump deportations. The numbers were very similar. There was no outcry during Obama's deportations. But what is also odd is that Tom Homan was part of both of them. So no wonder he always comes across as a little angry, because he sees the hypocrisy. But you wonder, is the difference this time between Trump and Obama that Antifa and whoever else are out and they're just not going to go away? So no matter what Trump does, they're not going to be satisfied. And so they're effectively running the people who are in the right out of town.
Yeah.
I mean, is that... this doesn't make any sense to me. Pam Bondi's silence. Is Susie Wiles up to this? Like, who's there giving them terrible advice?
It's frustrating. I think it's all the above. I think it's the same people we've been talking about this whole time, the Susie Wiles and the others. But here's the thing, okay? 10 million people came into our country illegally last year. Or not, well, I guess during the whole Biden administration, I should say. I don't care about GOP polling. I don't care about optics. I don't care about the midterms. We have a country to save, okay? Like, the sovereignty of our nation is at stake for all the people that came in. So clearly, the Trump administration, if they're caring about the polling and the midterms, this is not like 2005 politics. Like, our nation is literally at stake, and we got to get them out. So clearly, and I say the Trump administration because I really think Trump knows this. I know Trump knows this. I think he's listening to the wrong people, but clearly his administration is not realizing the threat at hand properly.
Bothers me because the Saul Alinsky rules for radicals tactics are winning.
Yes.
They totally set this up in Minnesota. They knew they could prey on the emotions of, the uninformed conservative voters and gain their empathy. And that's exactly what Donald Trump is looking at then, if that is true. He is playing right into their hands. I just don't get it. He's smarter than that. Maybe he's not.
I don't know. I don't know anything anymore.
Same. Same. Every morning I'm like, what in the world? All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with maybe some of your texts and some Alabama news.
Welcome back to Rightside Radio. I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. So we have a little bit of news, and it's kind of a bummer. Are y'all paying attention to the weather? Y'all paying attention?
I am. Can I just say first, I love weather Twitter during times like these because they're just
You love weather Twitter?
during times like when there's a big storm coming up because they're all just arguing amongst themselves about models and no, that's not going to happen. This is going to, nobody knows. But yeah, I've been paying attention.
And what did you tell me about the weather?
The most recent model shows that pretty much every southern state is going to get snow except for us. And we're going to get a lot of cold rain and ice.
Of course.
It's really funny because the snow line comes across the south and then comes to Alabama and just goes over and then goes back down.
I want snow.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Don't know. It's what it's. I couldn't tell you.
Like a jet stream? Oh, yep. I'm looking. You're right.
Mhm.
Just completely misses us.
Well, it's like a little diddly do.
Lord, could you give us some snow? Really?
Apparently,
Just
it's
more
just
than
going to
ice?
be a big rain event with ice possibilities in the northeast and northwest corners of the state.
That's so not fun.
But it's going to be cold. Very cold.
We did get our firewood inside, so there's that.
So there's that. I mean, I was like prepping the generator. My mother-in-law was like, we're going out to get bread and milk. And I'm like, why do you get bread and milk? You get wine and steak.
Mhm.
You get wine and cheese. It's
Yeah.
something in
It's so
wine.
true.
But like, what are you going to do with bread and milk? That sounds disgusting together.
My aunt in Huntsville took a picture and posted on Facebook at Sam's, and the shelves were just empty. It's like
About
there's
all the wine
was
what?
I knew when I placed my grocery order last night, I shouldn't have. Because when I order food or I get groceries, it means whatever weather was going to come our way doesn't. So it's my fault. I jinxed the weather.
Thanks, Abs.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Thanks a lot.
And you could tell a lot of people were getting groceries because I ordered it to be there this afternoon when Chris was home because our dogs would eat some of it. And it was hard to find a time because you know how usually, even if it's
Wide
Walmart,
open.
they pop up and they're like, we can deliver it at 7 a.m. No. It couldn't even get to me before 10.
You know, you can go to the store, Princess.
Oh, yeah.
But why do that? They can bring it to you.
I can't say anything. 'cause
I
do
know
the
you
same
can't.
thing.
She does. And I was baking. Hello. And we had a call. And then
Oh,
we were
yeah.
supposed to have
Where
another
is the
call.
bread?
I did something I don't normally do.
Just screw it all up.
No. I took a picture of it. She's real pretty. I am making more. I cut into it and had some of it with my lunch.
I'm
Since
proud
we
of
didn't
you.
get to go meet and have lunch, which we were going to
I'm
do.
proud of you. Yeah.
So I was baking while we were on one of our calls today. And I thought, I've done it. Did it. It's my fault. That's why we're not going to get
Could
snow.
have brought us a slice.
I know I should have. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll bring you some from these loaves I'm making.
You sound so domesticated.
Well, I was like, we don't have any bread in the house.
She's pretty and she can cook. It's better.
She's playing into the
And
stereotype.
she's smart.
Ish.
Abs.
I'm
The
where
whole
women should be
package.
in the kitchen.
You don't even wear a watch.
It's donate.
It's on the stove. We'll be back. We also have Katherine Robertson coming up at 3:30, candidate for Attorney General. So you don't want to miss that. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Rightside Radio. You are in the right place. I am Amy Beth with Allison and JP. So at 3:30 today, we have Catherine Robertson, who is running for Attorney General. We'll have that interview for you. And then at 4 o'clock, we are going to discuss and have our education update, because there's a lot out there that we need to talk about, both in Alabama and also, I don't even know where Allison's clip is from, but from Crazy Pants, and also a little WEF clip with Randy Weingarten. But I have good news. This is really good news. Do you know what Trump, here's something good he has done. Do you have any idea what it could be? It's related to life issues, pro-life issues.
I don't know.
No, I have not seen.
He has ended research on aborted fetal cell tissue.
Sweet.
Yeah.
You know what? That's such a loaded, because it's like he ended it. Therefore, it was happening to begin with.
Which is really hard for people to believe that it was even going on at all, because I'm adopted for most of my life. Not most of my life adopted. I am adopted.
I was like,
but for most of my life, really starting when I was in high school and heavily so in college, very attuned to what was going on. And when I found out, probably in my 30s, that fetal cell tissue research was being done, or that babies survived abortion, or that fetal cells were in our vaccines, didn't learn that until I was in my 40s. It was very hard for anybody to comprehend that that was happening. But two things. The fetal cells are in vaccines. Just look it up. It's in a lot of stuff. That's horrifying, number one. But number two, the aborted fetal cell research and cell tissue. Think about the things that Francis Collins, that same guy that we trusted during COVID, oversaw. That we're taking babies' scalps and putting them on monkeys or mice, excuse me. Like, that happened. So can you imagine how grotesque a world we live in, that Trump had to end research on aborted fetal cell tissue? Now, pro-choicers will tell you, and I'm sure you would have heard this too, well, at least something good came out of the abortion. No, that's a non sequitur. That's not logical. It's ridiculous. But I've heard that out of people's mouths. That, there's some good. No, there's no good in that. Someone lost their life. So kudos to Trump. This is huge that he ended this. And then today started something else that's also fantastic, that has to do with WHO and not the WHO, the group. WHO. Do you know what else happened today?
Were they defunded?
We're getting out. We're out.
Really? Nice.
So 2 happy things today that I saw this morning that I'm like, oh, this is like, look, we don't know what you're doing in Minnesota right now, but you're taking care of business when it comes to life and getting us out of the World Health Organization.
I have some bad news.
Oh,
do you want
crap.
it now?
Well, I have good news.
Okay. Well, no, we can't end on bad. You want me to go
Okay,
first,
then go
and then you go?
Mhm.
Mine's kind of related. Is yours related? No, mine is related.
Mine's not related.
Okay. I'll do bad related, and then you do good.
Like a sandwich. Good,
Yeah.
bad, good.
Yep. That's how you do it during Rush. Did you have to do that?
I didn't
If you were going
rush.
to talk
I
about
didn't
somebody.
rush.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Virginia. That's Sputtenburger.
Yeah, Spamburger, but I like Sputnik better.
Spamburger. And we read off all the horrendous things that she has done since she's been in office for 36 hours.
Yes.
Well, now at 72 hours, they just passed full-term abortion. We now have 9 states that will allow full-term abortion. Any parent that has delivered a child, has held a newborn, even if you're not a parent, you've seen a newborn baby, 9 states will allow you to murder them. Murder them. Virginia, Alaska, Colorado, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, Oregon, Vermont, Virginia, and the District of Columbia.
Oh, good grief.
The debate, I don't even have to debate it. I think, it's either a life or it's not. And those lines, when you start trying to decide, well, at 6 days, 6 weeks and 2 days, it's not a life, but at 6 weeks and 3 days, it is. You just, no, you don't get to do that. Abortion is horrendous at any point, but you get to full term, day before delivery, even partial birth abortion, you are a sicko and you are a murderer.
You're a demon.
You're a demon.
Well, think about the babies that have survived. Think about the guy we interviewed on our old podcast that found those full-term babies.
We need to get him back on.
Let's try to get him back on. The full-term babies that they found in Washington, D.C. at the clinic, or all the horrors that happened under Kermit Gosnell because babies survived abortion. It happens more often than you would think. But several states stopped keeping records, so they didn't have to report that it was happening. So the fact that you can have a full-term abortion really gets into that hideous idea. Peter Singer, he calls himself an ethicist at Princeton, I believe, or Yale, that thinks that babies and parents can have up to 9 months to decide if babies should be allowed to hang around. So boo on you, Virginia. 9 states.
9 states.
9 states I don't want to go to, or one's District of Columbia. It's horrifying.
And this is not condemnation on women. I just need to qualify that have had abortions. My goodness, heart goes out. That is a tough decision. And for some people with where they are, I don't think there's any excuse. I don't ever think that that's the right answer, but some people have been there and they've walked through it and they will live with that. So lots of compassion, but a life is a life and you still have to call it as it is. And this full term, it's just unspeakable. What's your good news?
We got Greenland deal details
Oh.
released from the New York Times. So essentially the deal that it looks like the frameworks of was agreed to, Denmark would give the United States sovereignty over small pockets of Greenlandic land where the United States could then build sovereign military bases, according to 3 senior officials familiar with the discussion. It says the officials spoke on condition of anonymity to discuss a sensitive diplomatic matter. And they said the idea was one Mr. Rutte, who is the NATO Secretary General, had been pursuing. 2 of the officials who attended the meeting compared it to the United Kingdom's bases in Cyprus, which are regarded as British territory. Says the officials did not know if the idea was part of the framework announced by Mr. Trump. They were asked for comment about the deal and its contents. NATO said in a statement, quote, that negotiations between Denmark, Greenland, and the United States will go forward aimed at ensuring Russia and China never gain a foothold economically or militarily in Greenland. So there's been a lot of people that were disappointed by this because they wanted Greenland to be the United States, which I hear you. It would be awesome. Okay. But I think this was just another example of Trump's deal, how he works deals. He starts at the most extreme end and then works backwards so that him working backwards looks like a concession or looks like a compromise, or really it's still a win in the long run because of where you were to begin with. So I think we started at the extreme end of we're just going to take Greenland. We may militarily invade Greenland. Greenland will be the United States of America. And that put pressure on, Europe. And now, okay, well, can we have sovereignty over bases so that we can protect our national security and Greenland can be protected? So I know it's probably not as fun. And I've seen some people argue that Trump butchered this deal because he angered Europe so much with his rhetoric that they weren't willing to do anything more than what they offered. I think it's the opposite. I think this is what Trump wanted ultimately, was to have military control over enough of Greenland to sufficiently protect Greenland, but also protect the United States from Russia and China. So I think ultimately we're going to get a win out of this, although some people are disappointed that we're not going to be planting a flag on Greenland. But I think it's a win. I think we're ultimately getting what we want out of it.
Yeah, agree. That's
Art
good
of
news.
the deal.
Yeah, the art of the deal. So
That's what you do.
So good.
Go all the way.
Work backwards.
Yep.
So
Usually doesn't work out well when you start the other way around.
yeah, it's not good to work forwards. You know what? We're gonna invade Greenland. What do you think about that, NATO? Whoa, sir, please come to the table.
How much do we have to pay them?
So there's a report. Who was it? It's the Daily Mail who's claiming that every Greenlander could be offered $1 million each by Trump if they vote to join the United States. I don't think that's true. I think Trump will just take the sovereignty of the bases as a win personally. But imagine if we agree to that deal and then the Greenlandians vote to join the United States.
You get
That'd
$1
be
million.
awesome.
And you get $1 million. Huh.
I love it. This is great. Should we get Greenland t-shirts in like that perfect shade of
That
green?
Kelly green.
Yeah.
Surely they're like Irish green. That would be. Do they have a flag? They got to have a flag.
They do. It's like a.
Show us.
I didn't know if Denmark
put it on
would
the
allow
screen.
the little people to
I'll
have a
pull it
flag.
up and then put it on the screen. It's kind of lame, to be honest with you.
Well, maybe we should redesign it.
It's got to be green. Is it not green?
No, it's not green at all. Hold on, let
Hmm.
me download this picture and put it up here. It's not what you would think it is.
Okay, I'm getting ready for a lame flag.
Is
Hold
it like maroon and gold?
Oh, please no. Please.
And
Who-
Hunter.
That's lame. That's like a 5-year-old designed the flag.
What the heck does that even mean? Like what? There's got to be meaning.
Guys.
The over is the under, and we're upside down, but only in the circle.
Upper half is white, bottom half is red, and then a circle off center, just a little
Yeah.
askew, with red on top, white on bottom. I don't know what that means.
It's like somebody screwed up the Japanese flag
Yes. Yeah. It's like a 5-year-old trying to draw the
Wow.
Japanese
Yeah.
flag.
and got it all wrong.
Maybe they'll use this opportunity to redo it.
You know,
That is not what I thought.
you know what? I think I got an idea for a flag for Greenland that would look a lot better. And I want y'all to think. Let me know what you think.
Are you working on it right now?
I think it's this one.
Yes, sir.
I like those stars.
It's good. It's beautiful
and
stripes.
And you know what? We can even move one star and add one more to make it 51 stars.
I think we could.
Be off
And
center.
it's not popular to say, but I'm in favor of this before we let Puerto Rico get their flag added.
I agree.
So this is great news. This is great.
Great. Grand.
Great.
Wonderful. Okay. We're going to continue our campaign discussion. I have a question for y'all
Okay.
on the other side. We'll be back.
Welcome back to Rightside Radio. I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. And before we head to our interview with Catherine Robertson at 3:30, Allison Sinclair, you had a question for us.
Yeah, question.
Okay.
So Donald Trump is in his prime endorsement days. Like they're just rolling out. And people, well, the election has been going on for a while in most states where, it's not qualifying in Alabama hasn't ended yet, but you pretty much know who's in the race.
Mm-hmm.
You know who you like. My question is, once Donald Trump makes an endorsement, are you betraying Donald Trump if you vote against the person or if you do not vote for the person he endorses?
That is a great question. No, I don't think so. I think it's a primary, and I think that we take that into consideration. But if you think because he's not in that state and maybe he doesn't know everybody there, he's just going with who he thinks he likes, you're still free. It's a free country. We're free to think about what we want to think about and vote for who we want. That's our endorsement. He can make his endorsement, but our endorsement comes in the vote, on May 19th for who we vote for. So I don't think you're going against him. I think when it comes to the election in November, if Alabama, the primary is done. It's done that day. If you're in a different state, perhaps it's different. But in Alabama, I think you're free to vote the way that you want to vote. Take into consideration what he suggested, but that doesn't mean you have to do it. I don't think you're going against Trump in that way.
I mean, I guess I think about, and I have family that lives in South Carolina, and Donald Trump endorses Lindsey Graham. There's no way in heck I'm voting for Lindsey Graham.
No way.
I will write JP in way over Lindsey Graham.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So maybe it depends on the state or the race, but it's being suggested that you are betraying Donald Trump and you're not a true Trumper if you don't vote for who he endorsed.
Well, okay. My answer's kind of loaded. Are you going against Trump if you vote against somebody he endorsed? Technically, yes, and you shouldn't care. So that's my answer. You should not be blindly voting for whoever Trump. I think you should judge every person you're voting for. If you are truly an informed voter, like you should be during the primaries, that you're voting on each candidate because of how you individually think of that person. I don't like people just voting for people because they see on the TV ads that Trump endorsed this person and Trump endorsed that person. Oh, well, I'm just going to vote for them because, like I said, or like you said, a lot of people Trump endorses, most conservatives don't like Lindsey Graham and others.
Mm-hmm.
So, on paper, if you lay it out like Trump endorses this person, therefore, if you vote for this person, are you going against Trump? Technically on paper, yeah, but who cares? That shouldn't be the end all be all. Oh, well, Trump endorsed that person then, and you're conservative, so you should just vote for that person. No, I agree with what Amy Beth said. Each Alabamian should vote for whoever they want to vote for. So it shouldn't hold weight. On paper, it's like if I said, I endorse Allison, and somebody says, well, actually, I kind of like Amy Beth more. You're betraying me? That's not how it should be, Even though,
true.
Technically from a 100-foot view, okay, but it's just so stupid.
We're in the way to get people, regardless, because we have a child who lives in South Carolina. Regardless, I'm with you. You'd never vote for Lindsey Graham. And sometimes you have to be the one that goes, okay, so he thinks that's going to help him accomplish his purpose in DC. Okay, I got it. But we think this person is better.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's kind of like our beginning discussion. Aren't you just kind of acting like the left when you say that? You can't think for yourself.
Yeah.
You can't make a decision for yourself. It's groupthink, and you do what we say or you're not in the club.
And how about you can't argue somebody into agreement? Use persuasive arguments. How about
that?
Do I need to make that a button? Y'all say it so much.
Catch me outside. How about that? Yes, it does need to be a button. Can you do it in the break?
No.
We'll be back with Catherine Robertson. Stick around.
Welcome back to Rightside Radio. I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. We are happy to be joined by your promised guest today, Catherine Robertson, who is running for Attorney General. Welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you for the coffee.
Oh, anytime.
I mean, this is fantastic. Okay, So we're going to get right to it. This is your first run for office, but you are in the AG's office as chief counsel.
That's right.
Correct?
Yes.
Tell me how the race is going. Is it everything you thought it would be?
Yeah, fortunately or unfortunately, I've had the benefit of watching a lot of bosses run for office and have been kind of all up in the middle of their campaign. So I will say, some of it is like, oh yeah, this is about what I expected. The demands on your time, the negatives, all that. I think it's going better than expected, I would say, so far, because I thought, being the only person in my race that has not run before, I figured it would take me a long time to kind of establish my street cred and all that. And it hasn't. It hadn't taken as long as I thought it. And so I feel good about it. Long way to go.
Yeah.
What are you hearing from voters? I'm so curious as to like the top 3 issues that they're talking about and wanting to see happen in the Attorney General's office. Yeah, I think the most encouraging thing I hear from voters is that they're happy with the AG's office. It's pretty rare for voters, I think, to say they're actually happy with any part of their government. And so it makes me feel good that usually people can name things that we've done, issues that we've worked on, which just shows the unique nature of what we do. I mean, it really does touch regular everyday people in so many ways. And so what they care about, I think, is making sure that the next person doesn't shift course. I think we've been a very conservative office. We've prioritized the right things. And so they want to know, are you going to be like Steve Marshall, basically? And I say, yeah, but way funnier. But I mean, look, I think right now, everybody, myself included, is worried about the economy and the cost of living. And there are some aspects of that touch the AG's office, others that don't. But I just think they want somebody that's going to be vigilant. I think they've seen that the AG's office is way bigger, has a way bigger impact than a lot of other elected offices. And so they just want to know that the person that's there is going to use that to really promote Alabama, to promote conservative values, and to really fight the fights that need to be fought, and not to get to Montgomery and, sort of let that go by the wayside.
So what are some of the things I know voters can list off, and when we were paying attention to all the good things that have been done, but what are some of the things in the office that y'all have accomplished that you're most proud of?
Yeah. We set out early on to, we want to have a mission statement. Like what's the filter through which we run things to decide what we need to be working on? And we decided our mission statement was to make the state safer and the country freer. And we figure if we can do both of those things pretty well, then we're going to be successful. So obviously, the AG is the chief law enforcement officer. It is our job to make sure that we have a criminal justice system that reflects the values of Alabamians, which means we have very little tolerance for crime. We want accountability. We want consequences. We want certainty. And our criminal justice system is stronger today than it was 10 years ago when I started in the AG's office. So that's a huge accomplishment. I think on the other side is what we were faced with and how we reacted to it. So you don't go to law school to learn how to navigate a pandemic or an election gone haywire, or 4 years of Biden just trying to take over our state in every way possible. I mean, you have no training for that. And so that's when your instincts kick in, your philosophy kicks in. And so just the way we've been able to navigate those things, I think we've led the nation in a lot of ways on some of those issues, the things that we've gotten ahead of, the things we've been willing to take on. And so I'm super proud of it, but obviously experience, hindsight's 2020. I mean, the things you learn through those tough parts prepare you for the next fight, whatever that is. And so, yeah, just super proud. Pretend for a moment, and I'm sorry to put you in this position because it's a disaster, but pretend for a moment that you are the Attorney General of Minnesota. Oh my gosh. I know it's a mess, but how are you handling that? You're looking at what's happening in the news. How would you respond? Yeah. I mean, well, you got to increase your prison capacity immediately because you're about to fill up your jails. I think the AG in Minnesota probably could have played a role in stopping this a long time ago. So, I mean, Keith Ellison's obviously part of the problem. I mean, the Attorney General would have had so many different ways to come at that as it was happening, unless you're part of the grift, which he was. Exactly, yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine what it would be like to actually be a Republican Attorney General in Minnesota right now. They'd never elect one. But yeah, I mean, you wouldn't have
any friends. You would just have to go after every single person that played a role and probably dedicate a disproportionate amount of resources from your office to cleaning house.
So I mean, that Minnesota question is such a good one. So what can they do? I mean, do you just arrest everybody, put them in, like, what are the steps that you would follow as we're watching helplessly thinking, do something?
Yeah.
Other than saying, we'll cover for your crime.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, when federal money is involved, the federal government has an enormous amount of resources to put into those kinds of investigations to prove everybody who is in on it in every step of the way. And they've got, 200 times the resources of any state. So you're going to see the feds involved because federal money was there. And so they've got every right to be there. There are definitely going to be some state level crimes that will have to be investigated by someone. That's why you're probably going to see DOJ play an outsized role, because it seems to me like the AG's office is probably compromised in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the feds will lead the way on that. I mean, in a perfect world, the state would police itself, but that has obviously not happened. And so they're going to be all kind of recusals. I mean, who knows?
To that end, if you are the attorney general, how do you prosecute and choose cases to go after and keep them unbiased? We've watched in Alabama, the speaker of the house, don't ever run for speaker of the Alabama House. You'll end up in jail. But
She's right.
Some of it gets very personal where you know people, but how do you make sure you stay unbiased in prosecuting cases?
Yeah, well, I think with anything in the AG's office, I mean, it's an enormous amount of power. And so whether that is enforcing ethics laws and public corruption stuff or street crime or what have you, I mean, you can't ever let yourself chase a headline or chase any kind of glory or avoid political conflict. I mean, it's such an interesting role. And I think it's so much more complex than people realize, because you are an elected official. So you're technically a politician, but what you do is not very political, or it shouldn't be. And so it can be driven by, and certainly should be driven by, your conservative philosophy and good representation of the people. But you can't ever let your personal feelings get in the way. And we always say you follow the facts. You don't target a person, you target a crime.
Right.
And, I think especially with public officials, there can certainly be a temptation to try to make everybody out to be a bad guy. And you have to be super careful to have that mentality, because you got to have credibility at the end of the day.
I have a question about gambling. If you
guys are all over the map.
Sorry, it's like
glad we prepped for this.
Yeah, take a sip of coffee.
Here we go.
I have never understood the argument of that we need to have a lottery and we need to legalize gambling because it's unregulated and the state needs to go in and regulate it. And we need to have a hand in all of these, and with all these illegal bingo halls that are, why don't we just go in and shut them down? That's the law. So what are your thoughts on, I don't even know if it's going to come up in this session, but I know there was it bingo? What happened in Huntsville recently? They raided. How come we can't go in? I could tell you where they are in downtown Birmingham right now.
Oh man. Okay. So the AG's office.
You can take another sip of coffee.
There's no alcohol in those.
We contemplated that on the show.
Well,
but it might be illegal. I don't know.
Maybe,
JP says no.
He
says yes.
Not ethical.
Well,
it's not ethical.
Okay, not ethical. Maybe after. So the AG's office gets put in a really strange position, because this is just, gambling in Alabama is a misdemeanor. Okay, you don't go to jail for it. It's a misdemeanor.
What if you're running the bingo hall?
Unless we can prove some sort of scheme, there's not a really fierce criminal penalty to be applied. And the legislature knows that. It's been a conversation that's gone on for years and years and years. And so what you see is, either because of that, or just because of a lack of interest from the locals, or just a lack of resources from the locals, you will find hotspots around our state where local law enforcement just isn't going to deal with it.
Yeah.
And so then it kind of falls to us. Well, believe it or not, we don't advertise, but we don't have an army of people to go out and police our state in any way on any type of crime. We don't have
you don't have the time to go.
it's not the time. It's like we don't have the people. We don't have a police force at the AG's office. And so we try to go into these local areas. We go get, we send them cease and desist letters. We do all the things. But the minute we come back to Montgomery and they reopen, then what?
Yeah.
And so at some point, the locals have to police it because we're not able to cover 67 counties. And so you do see different parts of the state, if local law enforcement doesn't stay on top of it, or even if they do and they just don't have the resources, it's just, I hate this term, but it's whack-a-mole as ever used, but I don't know a better way to describe it. And so I really think if that's what we want to deal with, if we want to have that all shut down, then we've got to have a bigger stick to go after it. We've got to have a felony. We've got to make it worth the locals using their time and energy to make these cases, and there's actually a penalty on the back end. And so we've gotten creative in our tenure. We've tried to use public nuisance laws. We've tried to use like civil actions. Some of it's been successful, some of it hasn't been, but it sort of just feels like it's in purgatory with the legislature. They've got to kind of make a move one way or the other.
Right.
And if it's that they don't like this illegal stuff and they don't like the mom and pop, then we're always here to talk about what we see and the tools we would need to be able to really shut it down once and for all. But it's a strange game out there.
It is. We've got to take a break. When we come back, I kind of want to talk about your goals, kind of day one when you get into office, what you want to go after. I also want to talk about a website called Catherine Robertson Facts that is just bizarre. It's paid for by Jay Mitchell's campaign. I don't get it. And there's some accusations in there I kind of want to get your response on.
Let's do it.
We'll cover that when we get back.
Welcome back to Rightside Radio. I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. We are here with Catherine Robertson, who is running for Attorney General. So we don't have a lot of time. So 2 really good questions. Number 1, for people who do not know, tell us a little bit about you and your background.
Yeah. Well, quickly, I have a husband and 2 children, so I'll give them a shout out since they are going through this with me, and it's wild.
Yeah.
I started my career 20 years ago at the United States Justice Department, later served Senator Jeff Sessions on the United States Senate Judiciary Committee, got married, moved back to Alabama because that's what normal people do, helped run the Alabama Policy Institute under Gary Palmer for several years, and then have been at the AG's office since 2016. So this is year 10. Having to get my hair highlighted a little more now than I used to.
Wow.
Been a while, look a little older than I do, and
yeah,
went through everything. So yeah, that's why I'm running, because I love the place. I've figured out how to do it. I've watched it be done well, and just want to continue that.
as chief counsel for Steve Marshall, the current attorney general, you attend several attorney general meetings, and you know a lot of people in the attorney general world. I'm curious though, Jay Mitchell's campaign created a website called Catherine Robertson Facts. And this is what it says. Anonymous, out-of-state, dark money is flooding into Alabama. Millions in secret cash with no donors, no transparency, no accountability. And he goes on to talk about Leonard Leo. But all these people go back to, or it seems like to me, it's the RAGA, Republican Attorneys General Association, and people that you met along the way.
Oh yeah.
Am I wrong? Like, what's your response to that? It's dark money, because to me, doesn't everybody take 501c4 money?
Yeah, 501c4s are a conservative tool to protect donors and promote advocacy, issue-based campaigns, and all that. Leonard Leo is a stalwart in the conservative legal movement. I met him when I was in law school. He has followed my career, and I mean, the truth is, this is my first race. I didn't get to raise money in a Supreme Court race and quit and dump it all into this race like Jay did. I had to start at zero. And so when I was talking in the Republican AG space about whether to run or not, I told him I was going to have a pretty big shortfall to start off with and needed some help. And Leonard's network and the Republican AG network stepped up for me big time. And why? That's probably the better question. Why do they care about me? And I think it's just because they've watched my career. I mean, they know I'm an independent thinker. They know I'm a genuine philosophical conservative that has paid a price for taking the right positions. And they're very pleased with the outsized role that Alabama has played in the national conversation on some of the most important issues of our time, whether that's the trans agenda, whether that's DEI, whether that's ESG, whether that's crime. I think they've been impressed with the way that even though we have a small office relative to some of our sister states, we use our resources wisely, and they just want to see it continue. And so I'm just so honored to have their support. I can't imagine it being a negative thing. Leonard is credited with the overturning of Roe v. Wade, and his mission statement is to crush liberal dominance. So if somebody like that wants to support me, then bring it on.
Yeah. Interesting. What are your plans from here, kind of day one when you are in office? What do you want to tackle?
Yeah, well, the first thing I'm going to do is pack my stuff up and walk it across the hall and get settled in a much more comfortable chair with a better view.
Is it a bigger chair?
It's a bigger chair, better view. But look, my plan is just don't miss a beat. I mean, we're going to be at a critical juncture of Trump's last term. We're going to be right there at his halfway point. We're going to have a brand new slate of constitutional officers in Alabama, a brand new governor, and all the way down the line. And every single one of those people is going to need the Alabama AG's office to step up and not be reading the training manual on what to do. And so whatever the day holds on day one will not be all that different from the day before for me. I don't have to learn anything new. I've kind of been through things. I don't overreact. I don't underreact. I've just, I've developed a sense of confidence in doing the job. And so yes, there are going to be priorities I have. And a lot of the AG's priorities sometimes get handed to you, when the legislature passes a law and you got to decide how hard you're going to defend it and that kind of thing. But what I'm bringing on day one is just knowing what to do, knowing how to navigate it, and hopefully bringing all those other folks alongside me to push Alabama forward.
So quickly to finish, you mentioned that you have 2 kids and a husband. What are their thoughts on this race?
You know, I had this conversation with my husband a long time ago. This had not been a long-term plan of mine, but about a year ago, so not that long ago. I was like, hey, what do you think? And he said, I've watched you help so many other people and make them all look good. I want you to go out there and do it for yourself. And so he's put his money where his mouth is. He's definitely carrying the load at home right now. We looked at it and said, look, this is a finite period of time where I'm not probably going to be super mom, but hopefully them watching me go through this and win or lose, you know, I'm going to run a campaign that I'm going to be proud of at the end of the day. And I hope it'll motivate my children somehow. It has certainly strengthened my marriage. Nothing gets you in the foxhole together better than somebody attacking your wife. So we're having fun.
The truth.
That's yep. That is very much the truth. And
Yeah,
you're
it
in
is.
the fire. Well, I appreciate you being here. How can people find out more about you? Facebook, website?
Catherine Robertson for Attorney General on Facebook. Website is catherineforag.com. And I'm a pretty good Twitter follower. So KGRob27, that's my county, Dallas.
KG
So check us
that's
out.
good.
Just one B. Yep. Just one B.
KGRob27.
All right. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Hey,
Thanks
and
so
thank
Thank
you
you for
for
the
that.
coffee.
Anytime.
We'll be back.
So I want to remind you, Inspire Advisors is one of our sponsors, and they are doing amazing work. Look, I know this audience. You're the kind of folks who believe in standing up for your principles. You're good stewards of what you have for resources. What if the companies you are investing in, though, don't reflect your values at all? Well, that's why you need to meet Paul Breyer and his team at Inspire Advisors. Inspire Advisors, experts in the field of biblically responsible investing. Look, they can help you grow your bottom line while also being proud of what companies you invest in. Inspire Advisors, you got to check them out. Here's their website, www.moneypatternwealth.com. That's Inspire Advisors, www.moneypatternwealth.com, and tell them you heard about it on Rightside Radio.
to Rightside Radio.
Oops.
I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. So,
JP.
we've had quite the day. We have gotten to interview Attorney General candidate Catherine Robertson. We have talked about the things that Trump has done in a little roundtable of news. We gave you an update on what's happening in Minnesota and Greenland. Now, JP, if it's possible, and if you're ready, we would love to talk about and do our new little block, an education update.
Oh, perfect for a rainy day.
So good.
Oh,
Ladies and
kindergarten.
gentlemen.
We're getting our mats out of our cubbies. We're unfolding our mats and we're laying them down side by side.
Girls and boys, there's no talking. And don't try to sneak your goldfish. We just want you to lay there quietly so that we, your teachers, can have a moment of sanity.
Somebody I know got their hair snipped off with a pair of scissors during nap time.
Or gum shoved in there. Because at our school, if you chewed gum, you might have gotten a spanking. And you got the question every time you picked your children up. Mom, why did you make me go to the nap room?
I like this. Do y'all know how, we hated nap time?
Nap time is
And
the
if
worst.
somebody told me today I had to take a nap, I would kiss them.
Oh, gosh, just somebody come and fluff a pillow for me.
Make me lay on a plastic mat. That's all I want.
It smells weird.
Hey, mine was monogrammed, though.
I bet yours was monogrammed.
My mom worked at a monogram shop.
Oh, my mom monogrammed everything too, but a monogram shop is too much. Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. That was funny.
Those dulcet tones were brought to you by JP in the memories of precious childhoods. But that's not what's happening in America's schools, led by leaders that make you go, what? So we're going to revisit a few things. Something happened in Alabama. A program was extended. We are going to revisit what in the world Randy Weingarten said at the World Economic Forum.
Randy.
Randy. Is it possible for them to continue saying what they always say, and yet they get more money every time? I'll leave that right there. She wanted to have a combination of education, labor, government, industries, networks all together so that when they get out of high school, they don't say, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. Lady, if that is your measure of success, and that's what you think kids do because you weren't working on it before you invented all these word salad words to create what you think you need to create, you have failed and you need to find a new job. Pause. And then there was Allison's delightful little clip of a teacher instructing his students, which, by the way, did he have earbuds hanging down on his shirt, on his all black
Look,
fit?
If you aren't watching, let me just set this up. I don't know if we're going to start with this clip, but this is a public school in Garland, Texas. And
that was in Texas?
Teacher looks like the lead singer of Green Day.
I agree with that.
But with blonde hair. It was the weirdest thing. Black t-shirt. I feel like there were chains involved.
Sleeves of tattoos.
Blonde hair. Sleeves of tattoos. In my head, he wore a spike bracelet like my husband did in 4th grade in Irondale. I'm so serious. That was during his Iron Maiden days. That was the first concert he went to. He was in 4th grade.
My husband had a shark tooth necklace when he went through Rush at Birmingham Southern. So I don't know what his words.
That fits Chris so well.
It does.
I had a shark tooth necklace growing up too.
Oh, I love our husband so much.
But this joker is like a teacher. And y'all, I had Miss Scarborough, who was, I swore she was 100. She was probably 50, but back then they looked so old. And she wore a long skirt and a button up like little button up shirt all the way buttoned up and a cardigan over it, and she tucked her little purse underneath her arms. I mean, what happened? And this guy looks like some scary punk rocker and is teaching our kids how to evade ICE. Total nonsense.
Do you want to play that clip?
Could we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it right here.
ICE. What does ICE stand for?
Immigration, control.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement, okay? Okay. Guys who kind of look like cops. Is ICE above the law? No one is above the law, and if they break it, they should be held accountable, just like any of y'all, right? Can ICE lie to you?
Yes.
Yes, they can, and they absolutely will. They'll also try and bait you into saying or doing something that'll get you in trouble. Don't take the bait. Can ICE profile you?
Yes.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Yes, they can. ICE can judge and target you based off the color of your skin, the language that you speak, or the job that you work. However, do y'all remember this card from the beginning of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah? These are your rights. Do not open the door. Stranger Danger 101. Don't answer any questions. You have the right to be silent, so be silent. Do not sign anything without talking to a lawyer. You are a minor. It is not your job to go toe-to-toe with ICE. The best thing you can do is probably just stay away from ICE. Can I hear y'all say, I want my lawyer?
I want my lawyer.
Yes.
So, school in Texas teaching kids how to break the law, and this is what passes for education. We can't read, we can't write, we can't think. We need safe spaces when we get out of high school because the world is a daunting place, apparently. And now we've done such a bad job. Not only are we teaching them to break the law, but we have the head of the Teachers Federation at WEF encouraging more of the same, but using different language. What in the world?
Well, can I just say, so first of all, there's a difference between, like when I was in high school, my football coach taught a life skills class for us. And one of the lessons was one of the students at our school, his dad was a sheriff, and he came in and talked to us about our rights. And, the right to remain silent. What does that mean? How to not incriminate yourself, that sort of stuff. There's a difference between that and planting a seed for these kids to be indoctrinated. Because first of all, he's specifically calling out ICE in an area in Texas. I believe, isn't this near the border in Texas?
I'd have to look.
It is a border state regardless. So he knows what he's doing, but it's the plausible deniability, because it's like, well, technically nothing that he said is incorrect. Well, what they're trying to do is to plant seeds in these kids that are impressionable so that they can go and grow up and do what the people in Minnesota are doing right now. Because if you plant the seed that ICE is intentionally trying to put you in jail, racially profile you, and that they're the Gestapo essentially, then the rest of their lives, that's how they view ICE through that lens. And you got them as kids, they're indoctrinated. So, but it's the plausible deniability, because they're like, well, nothing I said was wrong. Well, we know what you're doing. And it's a perfect endorsement for school choice.
Yeah. And I think that, what was wrong was him saying they will try and bait you. No, we're trying to go. Y'all saw the clip of the ICE agent trying to go arrest a child sex offender, a pedophile, and everybody's standing in the way. And he's like, we're going to arrest a child predator, and y'all are standing here blocking us. That's not baiting you. You are in the way. You will have consequences if you do not get out of the way. But that's what they're always trying to frame it as. Well, they're trying to bait you,
right?
Bait you, get you. No, y'all dummies are standing in the middle of the road.
And think about this. These children have been conditioned to these sorts of things since they were in K-5, because they got the whole run of Common Core. It's been around so long. And when we worked on some of those issues, Allison would talk about them through local give me information talking about the wheel when it came to DEI and critical race theory. And
Gosh, I can't believe you remember that.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And so there's this whole wheel. And if you look at the wheel, parents, it's concentric circles, and it's the classroom is on the center. And then there are other issues. And then on the outside of those issues, and it's cute, it's real color coded in case you want to know, how it all goes together. Parents are on the outside. So they've been conditioned to be separated and believe, based on how the teachers are teaching them since they're little tiny children, to believe that they're separate from their families. It's drilled into them because everybody sees the wheel. Parents are on the outside and everything else is on the inside. Parents bad, the instructors are good. And what they tell you, well, their stated goal is to develop activists. This is their goal. This is what they're doing. So the teacher who is teaching these kids in Texas was taught the same thing, but it's only gotten more pointed and more dangerous, I would like to say, now. So this passes as normal. And the things that teachers say, like in Alabama, we don't have those things anymore. They're out of our classrooms. That's not what the kids are telling us. So they're always asking about feelings or always asking about what you think. This is normal, but they were trained since childhood to ignore you and worship the state, worship their teachers, worship the school, and anything they said. This is treasonous to me. I could be wrong, but to me, it seems treasonous that this is what's happening in our schools today.
I think we're definitely at the point of they're using our taxes to fund that. And again, I ask, at what point are we at taxation without representation? I think we're coming really close, says Governor Kay Ivey. I wish you would. We've got to take a break. Can we play the Randy Biscuit Garden on the other side? Is there a longer clip of it? Because basically what she's trying to do is say we want a global education. Yeah. Let's talk about that. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Rightside Radio. I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. So, JP, do you mind playing the Randy Weingarten? Weingarten.
Yeah.
Randy. Do you mind playing her clip, please, sir?
Part of what we're trying to do here is say, how do we create this partnership between education, labor, government, and industry with the goal of creating these pathways so that kids, when they come out of high school or they come out of college, don't have to start saying, what am I going to do next? The pathways become important, and to create those pathways, you also have to create a curriculum, and you have to create this engagement with each other. And the last thing I'll say is this. When you do it, in the United States of America, we have 16,000 school districts. We have over 100,000 schools. There are industry partners all over. And you, Kiva, were the one who said, you can't keep on doing this industry by industry. You were the one who said, you can't keep on doing this governor by governor. How do we use the WEF to create this kind of integrated network so that we're all working together, so that kids can have, from high school on, opportunities to have jobs that pay a living wage so that they can feed their family and nurture their family. And that is what happens in advanced manufacturing. So I'm honored that we are part of the creation of that curriculum, and we are all in.
So I'm sorry. Maybe I'm old-fashioned. Isn't the point of school to learn how to think so that no matter what you're confronted with, you can do it? And aren't you supposed to start thinking about your future before you finish high school, or if you go to college, before you finish college?
Yep.
And what is it that we're trying to create? Workers? Like, I know Rockefeller's entire goal with education was to do that. But what is she doing there when we already have a globalist curriculum? She wants to increase it so that we are just creating little, my favorite word, apparatchiks to go do what they want to do, but it's still the same people separating us from our treasure, our children.
Yeah, I wrote a few things down. I mean, when she talks in the beginning about we're going to work with educators and employers and no mention of parents. None. No mention of parents. Little flag goes up. And you keep listening, you're like, you want robots. And that is so dangerous where this is where the surveys that are in all of our schools right now, they've started this already. They are starting to pigeonhole your children into what their career will be. They take these surveys and they say, you know what? You're really not good enough to have this. I mean, basically that's what they're doing. Mm-hmm. You need to do this instead of trying to dig in, really have that child excel. They are already putting them in the pegs where they think they're supposed to go, to where when you get out, and that's what they want. They want these kids to have to learn a skill so that when they get out, they can go straight into the workforce at this corporation of choosing that the WEF chooses for you. I mean, it's insane. It is antithetical to American society and what made America great, which was free thinking and ingenuity and creativity. I mean, they don't want any of that. And then when she said living wage,
oh gosh,
we've heard that word before in our own lives. We provide a living wage. That's a socialist term. That is an absolute socialist term. There's nothing good about whatever WEFy thing they're coming up with.
JP, what do you think?
Yeah, that's like globalism in a nutshell. First of all, why is the head of the teachers union at the World Economic Forum? Isn't that supposed to be an American position for American kids? I don't get it. But with the way she was describing it, of like what they don't want kids to do, it was like, so I was pretty much a failure in that lens. I left high school. I had no idea what I was wanting to do. And I just tried and took some risks. And I'm by no means like, I mean, the bottom line is I'm just happy. I'm doing what I enjoy doing, but I didn't go the route that they deemed or would deem safe, and not the route that they would want kids in the future to go. But the way that they're going to do it is by globalization and telling kids essentially no creativity, nothing. Like you said, this is the route. And if you don't go down that route, you veer off a little bit. It's not, you're not supposed to do that. So every kid's different, but it's taking it away from the parents, like you said, and for each person to be an individual and to be how God created you. They want it all the same. So
wretched, really. Would y'all like for me to share with you the great news about what's been expanded in our schools?
Oh boy.
I feel some sarcasm in that tone. All right, we'll be back with great news.
have a dandy for y'all. But first, you're listening to Rightside Radio, and I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. So we are rolling through the 4 o'clock hour talking education. Guys, I don't know if you knew this, but Kay Ivey requested $2.96 million increase for additional therapists in K through 12 schools.
Oh, that's not good news.
I know.
Abs, you tricked us.
I did.
What the biscuit?
Yep. For school-based mental health services, SBMH in public schools, that would bring the total state funding for school therapists to $7.65 million. These therapists primarily see students diagnosed with ADHD, depression, anxiety, and other issues. I'm sorry.
No,
Where does
no.
it say that you can do that? Parents, get
Who
your
is carrying this
kids
bill?
out of the schools.
Danny Garrett. Oh, I knew it.
Danny.
Danny Garrett. No.
You don't have the right. You do not have the right, and yet you're doing it.
Abs, why'd you have to do this?
I know. Well, I knew it was going to fire you up, and I thought that our listeners would like to know what was happening. But Kay Ivey wants to increase that mental health spending.
Can you go back to the story? I can't find it.
Yes, ma'am.
I am so, y'all, no. You are the parent. You decide who your child goes to for counseling. You don't let the government counsel your children ever. Since when does the government do anything well? And you're going to allow your child to go in, maybe because it's free? No. Somebody kill this bill. I can't believe you. Now I'm fired up.
Yeah, it's like the what's it called? Is it the SP, the student learning mental health? I can't remember. There's an acronym for it, but they go in and like once a week have a mental health discussion with the kids. Mm-hmm. And it's funny how much the kids report having like suicidal thoughts and depression after they've constantly been talking about it.
Yes.
And it's like, well, have you ever had these sort of thoughts? And the kid who's impressionable was like, no, but now you've planted that seed of like, should I be? It's like, well, it's completely normal if you are. So now the kid is in an echo chamber almost of like, now they feel like they're weird if they don't have the thoughts. So it's a complete mess. I'm pretty anti-therapy as a whole, but that's a different discussion, but especially when the government mandates it on kids.
It is unbelievable that we are still doing this, but just know that this is something that we will take on because government, you have no right. So I don't understand Republicans, why you would go along with this. Why in the world would you do that to your child?
It's House Bill 238. You can go look it up. The biscuit just dropped it because that's a really high number, and they go in order of when they're filed. Of course, they're going to try and sneak it in. I just, a counselor, you used to, okay, you got in a fight with Johnny during PE. You all go see the counselor. You work it out. They make you apologize. Maybe Johnny stays behind a little bit longer. Are you doing okay? How are things at home? Okay, wait, you might need some help. You call the family. You call the mom. You call the dad. And you say, you know what? Here are some resources. Maybe if they're underprivileged, you give them free, there are places that will do free counseling. You let the parents handle that. You don't just take a child and start counseling them. I told you all the story of the child that went in that was getting bullied. People were calling him gay, and he goes into the counselor's office. No parent was called. And she tells him, it's okay. If you're gay, here's a picture of my gay brother and his husband. You should be proud. Just come out and be gay. Okay, what if that's not the philosophy or the belief or not okay with those parents? Let's flip the script. What if you are okay with that, but your child goes in and that counselor says, no, being gay is a sin and you're going to hell. And would you appreciate that? No, you are in charge of your child. This is awful. Danny Garrett, biscuit of the day, maybe of the year. Ugh.
We need to have biscuit of the day trophies ready.
Did I just get fired up?
Yeah, you did. Should I remake? Well, yeah, can we order them?
Yeah,
And
we
just
need to
have one
them.
we give away a day.
I got an idea. Let's order stickers that have biscuits on them. And then we'll get a board and we'll write names in and we put all the stickers
Okay,
up. So
done.
all of our guests,
Look, there's
that come
space
in,
right there.
Do y'all watch like the Eli and Peyton Manning Monday Night Football, and they have like the
Sometimes.
prediction board and there's faces on the board? Maybe
Yes.
we just need a biscuit board. We print out a sticker of a face of each legislator, and when they make it on the biscuit board, we just
I'm
there.
for that.
Love it. Let's do it.
That'd be fun.
But I saw that and I knew it would fire Allison Sinclair up, but also B, parents, you need to be aware. Maybe you already were and this is just not a big deal to you, but it is a huge deal because you see what's happening in Texas. You see Randy Weingarten over there in Davos having a time with all the fancies. It's basically like Frankenstein's laboratory for billionaires and bored world leaders, set to ruin our lives with more curriculum that introduces the same thing. She wants more of the same, which means more of this crap, because the original idea for counselors and mental health and all that was introduced when Common Core was introduced all those years ago, just little bit by little bit. Our freedoms are ebbing. They're going away in our schools. And you wonder why our kids are coming out the way they are. That's why.
Danny Garrett, Kay Ivey, when has throwing more money? Okay, we have record amounts of money being spent on education in Alabama, and we aren't really getting any better. Yeah, sure. We hired teachers to teach our reading teachers how to teach reading. But this is not, and God, Danny Garrett, he's always the one that carries the governor's bills.
So it's yet another problem of these people claim to be conservatives, and yet the governor is pushing for this. Like this is what a blue state does. So it's really frustrating, and it makes you wonder. Well, I do have hope when Tuberville becomes governor that a lot of this will go away, but it's just like who has got all the hands that are in the cookie jar, and we got a governor asleep at the wheel in a conservative, so-called conservative state. I'm just so sick of seeing blue stuff like this getting done, and nobody pays enough attention to call them out. You think any of Danny Garrett's constituents are really like paying attention to stuff like that? Probably, and not enough. So
you know what? It circles back around to our discussion at the beginning of the day, and we were really just talking about campaigns and candidates, and that's that. But you look at this, and you know what people will hear? Y'all called out Danny Garrett. He's the nicest guy. Right? They missed the point.
He might be a lovely person.
he's got an
could
R by his
be
name. He's good.
Great to go to dinner with, and we'd all have a great time. And
Do
he
you know
is,
Danny?
Yeah, he's a nice
Oh.
guy. Like it's been a while. Okay, he's friends with people I am friends with. All right,
Okay.
circles, concentric circles. But the point is, they would be mad because we're doing this right here because they know him and they trust him, and we sit at church. It's the same logic that people used during COVID. But I sit with them at church. They're a good guy. They would never do anything like that. They would never just take away parental rights like they did. They did, and they're doing it again.
Here's the thing, and this is what they're going to say about me, and they're going to say about you, and mainly me. They're going to say that I just want children to die. Do you not want kids to have help? Do you want kids to be depressed? You must, because you're against this. No, I want the parents to be able to raise their children, and I want the government out of it. Out of it. Done. Now, let me say, Abs, you threw this on me and you knew you would do this to me.
I did.
I have not read the bill, and it does drive me nuts when people get fired up and they haven't read the bill. I read the article. I think I know what I'm talking about. If I will go read the bill tonight.
Oh.
If it's the best bill ever, I will come back and report that tomorrow. and I will say I was wrong. Don't think that's going to happen, but I will.
Well, the bottom line is, my opinion, kids don't need reassurance of their feeling. Like, I mean, when kids are kids, you think some crazy stuff, you know, like, I don't know. Am I a girl when I'm actually a boy? You don't need somebody, which is what these state-funded therapists would do. You don't need somebody to say, well, I don't know. Have you ever thought about it like that? You need somebody to say, son, I love you. It's normal, I guess, to think stuff like that, but you're wrong and you're a boy. Because they need strong, firm, reassurance. They don't need somebody to come in with them and enable their crazy thoughts, which is what they're paying these state-funded therapists to do in school. Like, a kid may be sad one day because, I mean, it's normal for kids to get sad. That doesn't mean, well, have you ever had suicidal thoughts? Son, it's important, or it's normal to be sad. It's normal to feel like this, but you're okay and you're gonna be okay, and we're fine. They don't need somebody to come in and push them further down the way that they're feeling. They need somebody to come in with a firm foundation to bring them back and reassure them. But that's why, it's so antithetical to say, well, do you want kids to be depressed? The state-funded therapists, in my opinion, would just push them more down that way. And you need somebody to bring them back to the light.
So I have a child listening, and she said, you're hitting it exactly right. But the book behind me, Abigail Schreier's Bad Therapy, she introduced that concept of iatrogenesis, where the therapy that they're using, they know is bad, but they do it anyway. It's what's on TikTok. It's what's on Instagram. It's what's on Yik Yak and all the things.
Oh, Yik Yak.
That's introducing these ideas. And then it's followed up in school by these therapists and their weekly visits. And, oh, don't they need it? And if you don't, your 4 children's mental health, declining. That's not it at all. Because her premise is, not only is it dangerous, but these ideas weren't even in our lexicon before 2012. Any of this. And why has it grown? Why has it morphed to just being completely out of control? Because we're following it up, not just on social media, but in school. This is dangerous. This is a wretched idea. And I don't know who we can find to kill it, but we really do need to kill this.
I'm just thinking practically what this is. It's like when you're having a bad day and you're stuck in your thoughts and it's raining outside and it's cold and you're at home and you're ruminating on all the things and you're just down in the dumps and you're thinking about how bad your life is and how bad. What do you need? You need somebody to come in and say, Sinclair, get up. We're going for a walk. We're going to go get coffee. We're going to go do this. We're going to go play with puppies. Like you need somebody to snap you out of it. What they are doing to these kids is they have group counseling now in the classrooms, and they're bringing in, counselors all the time for SEL, social emotional learning.
That was it. SEL.
How are you feeling? Okay. These kids, they never freaking get a break from feeling bad about themselves. They go to school and they have class, and we got to get in touch with our feelings. And then they get on social media and they realize they don't measure up to everybody else's perfect life. And it's all about, they never have that moment where their friend or the adult in the room walks in and says, hey, let's go for a walk. We're going to snap you out of this. Let's go play basketball. Let's talk about the good things happening in your life. It's always just, let's talk about it. And eventually, of course, you have an entire generation that's depressed because they never get a break.
And what's worse is they never hear the gospel, the true good news that would truly help them ever. Because if you do that in the schools, well, you're screwed for sure.
We can have social emotional learning and tranny flags in our schools, but not the 10 Commandments.
Oh, no. That's a terrible idea.
Not prayer at the beginning of the day.
That would be imposing your beliefs. We don't do that already.
Goodness.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not sorry.
Abs. Why you got to do that to me? We'll be back.
Welcome back to Rightside Radio. I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP, and doing a quick look at texts. And then we play, as always, Would You Rather? JP.
833-687-4448. It's a text line number.
Dale is going to be so
Sorry,
disappointed.
let me do it again. 833-687-4448 is the text line number if you want to let us know your thoughts. Paul Bryant from Athens. Every time I hear that, it's like Paul Bear Bryant.
I know.
He's
I
named
think the
after
same
them.
thing.
He says, "Good afternoon, friends. Kathy O'Brien, whistleblower on mind control, tells everyone that the best way to do so is to focus on and heighten people's emotions through trauma."
It's good. He's right. I mean, that's what they do. They just continually tell them their life is terrible. You've been harmed. Probably your parents did it, and on and on and on.
Right. And what you were saying earlier, yeah, that's like, I mean, I need it myself. Whenever I ruminate, I need someone to pull me out of it, not sit down with me in it. And I think that's what kids, but the problem is they're at such an impressionable age that anything you do at that time with them, whether it's telling them the ice is going to hurt you and is out to get you, or you plant the seed for depression and suicidal thoughts, that lasts with them for a long time. And it's a lot harder to undo it after it's done at such a young and impressionable age. So it's like, I don't know, maybe the parents who have the best interest out for their kids need to be the ones. And you know what? If the parents mess up, then the parents mess up. But you know that the intentions were good with the parents messing up.
Yes.
And it's not in the hands of the government. Yeah.
There's such a thing, and it just dawned on me when he said something about trauma. Trauma bonding is a very real thing, and that's exactly what they are going for here, to take the parents out of the equation. Your counselor, your teacher, they're the trusted ones in your life. They pulled this trauma out of you. They're really trying to help you. And so where do you start looking for your guidance? To the government worker, to the teacher, to the government counselor. And they can start implanting their ideas because you trust them. They care about you. They're talking about your feelings. They want to talk about your trauma and how you got grounded last night and your parents must be abusive. It's such manipulation. And the Republicans of Alabama are just saying, give me more, give me more.
You know what? I feel like we need a full minute of Would You Rather to clean that palate.
Yeah, okay.
Let's clean the palate.
Thank you, JP.
Would you rather know when people lie or not know when they lie to you?
Oh, dear. Could I do anything when I knew they lied?
I could pick up when people are lying.
I can pick up.
It's not that hard.
No, say you can't. Do you want to know or not know?
I want to know.
I want to know.
Yeah, I'd like to know.
Yeah, obviously. Who would say no? All right, let's do another one.
I mean, sometimes it's not fun to hear
That's true.
the truth.
Okay. Would you rather be able to control animals with your mind or control electronics with your mind?
Animals.
Animals.
Yeah, animals would save me a lot of time in life if I could just.
Boy, wouldn't that be good?
Yeah.
Oh, my dogs today. I tried to. They've done some damage to our gate, and
yeah.
If I could just get them
to not eat your chickens
or my gate, both.
You have 3 bull mastiffs.
I call them the Thundering Herd.
Is that the right name?
Yeah.
I love mastiffs. They're so fun.
The Thundering Herd.
They are thundering. How are your chickens?
The 2 I have left are great.
Aw,
I should have went out and saw them when I was at your house.
You should have. Well, we'll all be back.
Yeah.
is
We'll all be back.
Randella still alive?
She is alive. She's my best chicken.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Former listener, in her old life, bought her Randella.
Really?
And she's like indestructible.
She's the best chicken I've ever had.
Crazy. Crazy. Kind of like the show. We'll be back tomorrow, I think. If they let us, they might not. We'll see you then. Maybe.